What's up guys, my name is Your Heroes, and just before we get into today's video, I would just like to give a quick mention about the community tabs that's on the channel. You guys should just go check it out, as this is kind of a good way to get engaged with everyone around here, with the community that we have. So make sure you go check out the community pages, as I have been posting quite a lot lately, especially when it comes to new exciting news like developing news of Gates of Hell, or even the release date of it, which will definitely be put up in the communities tab. So definitely check out the communities tab more often, and I'll be uploading a lot more. And I'm also thinking about posting some shorts quite soon on the channel as well. I'm just figuring out how to actually do the short on a computer, which I've already been told before by Sir Jellybean, but I kind of forgot. Anyway, so yeah, more content hopefully should be coming out more soon, and because I'm also off for the September weekend, and I've got strikes on just now, so I have a lot more time to make videos, which will definitely be coming up in the next few days. So make sure you click the notification bell and stay tuned to all content without that's coming out. But anyway, that's gone on long enough, and let's get straight into the video. Welcome back to Gates of Hell, and today we're going to be talking about Gates of Hell maps and landscapes. Now, Gates of Hell has released on their Twitter page, or now X, they're saying that the Liberation DLC will feature I'm going to zoom this in, will feature real landscapes from France, Belgium and Germany, and we've lined up some of the summer and autumn sites for you. So they've kind of I'm going to now be showing you some of the maps and landscapes that they've got for it. Now, I don't exactly know what the landscapes are from, whether they are from France, Belgium and Germany, but I would like to look at them, so I can give you guys some tips and tricks, as that when it does come out, how to tactically use it when you're in a gameplay as well. Whether it is a PvP or a PvE, it's still good to know, good to give you some tips and tricks on how to give you some tactics just along the way, as well as just looking visually at the maps, as all maps that Gates of Hell made are really good. So let's get straight into it. So they've kind of made a slideshow here, which they've put on really well, but I'm just going to kind of go through them. So part one is the summer and autumn maps, and I think it's kind of split up into 3 parts, I think. So as I think there's summer, autumn, and I'm just summer, autumn. Oh, it's just summer and autumn just now. So it looks like there's going to be a part 1, so it could be that part 2 might be like winter and spring possibly. So don't know, but this is looking like there's going to be more than just summer and autumn. Anyway, let's have a look at the first one. So just from this, it does look a wee bit kind of like, I have to admit, some of these visually it looks different, but from kind of tactic wise, you're kind of looking at, it's your casual kind of get your men into the buildings and they take cover. As well you've got kind of some tree lines kind of along here. So as you can see here, I want to try and, no, I can't zoom in anymore. Anyway, so as you can see, kind of like there's some good bush lines here that you can take cover in, so you can maybe get some scouts out, kind of if there's a kind of a convoy coming along here with some tanks or some or even some half tracks, you could get some spots on. As well as looks like there's some emplacements such as anti-tank guns, like 88s, but along here, but I think they're more for decorations wise, so I don't think you'll be able to use them, which is unfortunate, because I think kind of adding a new system where you can actually take over like 88s that are part of the map is such, like, which would be such a cool system to add in the game, and definitely would kind of change the battle a lot more, kind of change the tides of the battle a wee bit. For either, it could have a negative impact, but also I think it would change it up a lot. And even if you can do a system where it's kind of like call terms, where they have like wee points where engineers get to build kind of sandbags. Engineers can build sandbags, but in the regular call terms, there's like a system where there's like a wee icon that allows engineers just to build some, what do you call them, sandbags, but it progressively becomes into like a bunker or a proper like machine gun placement, which is really cool. So that'd also be a cool system. But I'm getting a wee bit sidetracked. Going back to more of the map visually, that to us this absolutely looks really stunning. I'm guessing because France, Belgium, and Germany, environmentally all kind of, they don't look the same, of course, but if you're talking perspective of real life, to be honest, then rurally or environmentally, it kind of looks the same. And I know buildings are different in each country, but if we're talking kind of more, again, tactics wise, this is actually a really good place to kind of ambush tanks or half tracks coming along here, as well as just genuinely, I think this is just a stunning part of the map. I don't know. This is an autumn map. This does not look like a summer map. But then again, it's quite hard to tell between the two, just because I know there's difference between summer and autumn, but from my personal experience, I think autumn and summer are different but the same. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in my head, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, besides that point, I think this is kind of a really cool map, and yeah, some loads of good tactics to kind of take place within this area. Going into the next one here, I thought it was the same, but kind of going to the next one here, again, you have like one side where you can use a lot of cover here for like your sneaky scouts infantry, or even for very lightly armored scout cars that they can kind of just go, oh sorry, I did not mean that, they can kind of go along here, which makes it very good cover and very sneaky to kind of even just kind of for an ambush as well. Again, you've kind of got this kind of line, the pebbles kind of going along here, which would be good for tanks, I guess, also for kind of watching your left and right, but also it's kind of bad because you could get easily ambushed by infantry laying mines or throwing anti-tank grenades, or even guys with AT anti-tank guns can even just anti-tank RPGs or whatever you call them, can easily take advantage of that. And even anti-tank guns as well can easily take advantage of this situation along here. This area kind of looks more towards more of like your, again, part of an ambush, but I think you're kind of a wee bit more exposed in this area. I mean, even just because, like, look at the heights of these kind of bricks here, that your men will not be able to shoot over them compared to kind of like this cover here, where your men can take cover and still shoot over. So just be careful when kind of when putting your men up on the bricks, because this one they'll just be hiding behind it but not be able to shoot over, whereas this side here will be able to kind of shoot over, and but they still have cover with. Again, you don't have a lot of buildings. Maybe the only place you'll be able to get shoot is this wee house here, which has got windows. But as you go further, you're kind of going more into the town here. As you can see at where my mouse is, kind of looks like a wee church possibly in the background there. So there's a lot of this kind of turns into like a city, like a mini village or something like that. There is some good coverage over here, a lot of good ambush opportunities along this area, as well as a lot of good cover, sneaking up and kind of killing them or assassinating them, some other enemy infantries or enemy tanks. So again, some really good cover that you could take here from both sides. If you're kind of attacking, taking over this village, then you can take some good cover along here to try and sneak around from the flanks, or if you want to do a more direct approach, then that's also good as well. By the way, there is 47 slides of these. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what these new maps look like. So as you can see here, this kind of looks it definitely is a German camp, just because of the way you can see we German flag there automatically. And this looks like a very good defense kind of position over here. As you can see that there's sandbags on the front, as well as some bricks which you can take cover in. So it looks like kind of like an extra layer of protection, as well as you've got some munitions around here, some good cover in the houses as well. You can take along here some you can put infantry or snipers up in the building, as well as even defensively just along here as well. You can actually make it a really good, even though you're kind of maybe a wee bit more exposed from the back, I would say that you can still set up a good amount of maybe sandbags along here, get a good position, cover your rear, and get some mortars as well in the middle, which kind of gives you a really good protection layer from enemies approaching. And on that side, so as you can see that you might not have the best defensive from the rear, but your defensive frontally is really good. But if you build some sandbags and build some barbed wires and even some anti-tank traps, then you can easily kind of make this as strong as the front side. If you're from the attacking side, again, it can be easy going from the rear as it's a wee bit more exposed. There's no like hard cover that the enemy can defend from, although they can defend from the house back here, so that kind of will alert the enemy that they need to maybe move some troops to the rear. But even then, they could have some mortars positions, but even then from if you're from attacking, you could actually have some really good cover from mortars. You know, you could have some artillery hiding at the back in the bush lines, which the defending section won't see, so that'll be a really good point to take advantage of, as well as just doing an absolute sneak attack. Well, not really a sneak attack, just a surprise attack where you can maybe do a spot, just do a wee spotting with a scout, and then once you kind of see everything, then you could be able to get, you know, your tanks be waiting in line before they attack. So this could be a really good surprise attack, even from frontally as well. Even when they're strong, you could probably still take this area in a pretty good way, depending how well the setup your enemy is around here. But overall, I think this is actually a really good possibly defense or attack mission to see how well it turns out. From this point of view, so this kind of looks a wee bit more from defensive position wise, I think you're absolutely in an awesome position just because you're on higher up. As you can see that the kind of the layer in the landscape is a lot higher up, so you have defensively you're actually much more positioned well. But if you manage to take this area from here, then you're absolutely at advantage as well, because you're able to get some hard cover from enemy approaching, from defending approaching, trying to resupply this area. But if you manage to take this quickly, I think you'll do absolutely well. But if you absolutely get demolished and you hold back, then this area will just keep building up, and your enemy will just keep this area really strong as well. I've never seen what this is around here. I don't know if this may be like a sniper tower or a scout position tower here. If you guys know what this is, let me know in the position in the comments down below. But overall, I think this again just looks like a really awesome map. A lot of cover you can take from with these kind of wee bricks over here. Attacking wise, I think if you're attacking, you're a wee bit more disadvantaged. I think you're probably better attacking if you're flanking around to try and get this area. Kind of try and you know, close them in from the sides and also the front. So kind of the front here, you can use them as a distraction while you're trying to get other troops or tanks around to try and flank them from here, which, because from the side here they don't look like they're defensively the best, considering they do have this kind of wall here which does, or something along here which does protect them, but overall I think they're a wee bit more exposed from the side and the rear a lot more than they are the front, so definitely a lot there. Here, I think this just looks awesomely cinematic. You can see kind of like it looks like a farm area with some that's turned into more of a you know, a farm that's turned into a defensive battle field area. I know that's a really bad way of describing it, but as you can see, there's some wrecked panthers and some wrecked panzers, as well as some wrecked transport trucks as well from Germany. Some sandbags along here which are probably placed defensively for more reinforcements to come up, but you have this large barn over here which can easily be used for kind of ammunitions or supplies which can be saved up as well. Again, not from much, can't really tell much from this picture, but just visually it looks really awesome. This picture here, again, absolutely visually awesome. I do love it. I think the only problem is that a lot of these maps I've seen are just a lot more, just like, they seem a lot more campy, and that's not particularly a bad thing. But when you have a lot of bush cover, I know we're talking about France, Belgium and Germany here, because a lot of the area is a lot of just kind of farmlands, and also just a lot of trees and bushes, which are quite normal. But because this is call to arms, they don't need to have everything historically accurate, because if you get to a point where it's too historically accurate, then it just makes the game a wee bit less fun. So if you add that wee bit arcadiness into it, which the game already has, but if you're talking about maps and landscape wise, I think you could possibly change it a wee bit. So that means you're not exactly copying from, you know, the countries of France. I think just make it also a wee bit of your own as well, Barbedwire Studios, because if you're kind of making this a wee bit of your own, it makes the game a lot more interesting. It has that perfect balance of realistic and arcadeness. I would say a lot of these maps are just, you know, a lot of kind of like campy and kind of a lot, the gameplay would be quite slow. But if you're kind of defending from this point here, you can easily kind of get probably outmaneuvered by all angles here. You don't have a lot to defend yourself with, but then again, you could try to be like, have your resource points here. You could be starting your base off here, and then it looks like there's a village up ahead, so it looks like you could have, this could be a good starting point, and you do have a lot of cover and a lot of areas to approach when going to the village. Alright guys, so that is kind of my review of some of these pictures here. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all of them as the video would just be far too long, but just visually looking at these, it looks, this is probably has to be one of my favorites. This one just looks absolutely epic. I do love it, but I could talk about all days going through with these, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to show you some maps that kind of show you what kind of like could happen. This is, you can see this is a lot, this is more of a town fight, a lot of wrecked buildings here, and the bridge is about to, looks like it's about to collapse. But honestly, this would be a really good interesting map to fight if it was kind of like a 1v1. Honestly, this map would be a lot of fun. And a lot of these maps, you can see a lot of covers being taken here. But as you can see, like a lot of these maps are really well done, and just props to Wargaming. As you can see, look at this one, like the hedges are really cut fine, so you can tell this is kind of like a really posh building. You can see it's like really nicely laid out, which is quite accurate maybe to the real life on this place in Germany or Belgium. And it looks like this is a capture point or a defending point as well, which you might need to take. So this is actually really stunningly well done. Really props to Barbedwire Studios for this. But other than that, guys, honestly, all the maps I've seen here do look absolutely epic. I've gone through them myself, but if you haven't checked out all the photos here, then I'll leave a link down below where you can check out all the photos you want to see. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. And what do you think of these maps? Do you like them? What are some maps you don't like, and what are one you're really looking forward to? And let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and our support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.